Hello. Great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way. See what we have here for you. Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Chariot, the King of Swords, Seven of Wands, Judgment in the reverse position, Five of Wands, the Magician, very good. Let's see what else is coming through. The Five of Cups, the Devil, and the Page of Swords. Okay. So Pisces, one of the main themes that is coming through for you is basically stealing up the way you communicate. And what I mean by that is, as a water sign, you are very, very sympathetic when it comes to other people, and especially coming to the aid of other people, or lending a sympathetic ear to people's problems and allowing them to vent and providing emotional comfort and support for other people. The negative aspect of this is basically, playing martyr and also putting yourselves in contact with people who are not good for you, mainly because you are sympathetic and you are very, very empathic as well. And you tend to soak in, negative energies coming through from negative people around you. So when I mention stealing up the way you communicate, I do feel that with the Page of Swords and the King of Swords here, it's I'm reading this as an energy that is going to it's internal to you. So this is something that you need to channel in order for you to be able to successfully navigate this month. And I do feel that, first of all, putting your guard up, guard yourself against people who might, attack you, or who might play the guilt trip and get you to do what they want at the same time. It's also an energy in which you are a little bit more discriminate, and you are going to, exhibit the characteristics or the qualities of somebody who's very who's very logical, rational, who is very strong-minded, but there's still that room for sympathy. True sympathy, like lending out help and support and emotional nurturance for the people who actually need it, rather than giving yourself, I guess, indiscriminately. You are going to have to toughen up the way you communicate with other people, okay, and fight for the things that you deserve. Because coming through in the middle of this spread, we have a very powerful card here. We have 4 major arcana cards. One of them is in the reverse position, but I do feel there is going to be a lot of momentum, a lot of traction, a lot of gaining ground. And with the process of breaking into new grounds and expanding yourself in your social circle, I do feel that this is a card of progression and also expansion. You are going to encounter opposition, and people are not always going to be, when they see that you are hitting, a lot of success and making a lot of swift movement and changes in your life, I do feel that other people are going to try to pull you back down and trying to make you stoop to their level, and they don't really want to let you go. So there's a clinginess when it comes to the people that you're interacting with, and I do feel that, the guilt trip might come out, and you would feel really bad about leaving unhealthy situations, mainly because people would, turn on the waterworks, they would say how much they need you, and so forth, and that usually make you very weak in the knees, and it weakens your resolve. So you're going to have to channel the energy here of this King of Swords, which is somebody who's very, very objective, very strong-minded. He is strong in his thinking, and he knows what he's doing. So, channel this energy in order to strengthen what it is that you believe in, so that you don't get weak around the knees when you're dealing with other people who might not have your best interests at heart. Okay, so that's the major thing coming through. um, Strengthening your communication style, and doing so in a way that is a lot more objective, that is a lot more deliberate, to get your point across, whatever it is. And that is the only way that I'm sensing here. You have to defend yourself, and you have to do it in a way that is very objective. Okay, so it's sort of like when you interact with somebody that you've dealt with on an extensive basis, and especially when it comes to somebody who knows exactly how to push your buttons, they are going to push your buttons to get an emotional response out of you. And it's like not fighting fair, but that's just, their default mode of behavior. And for this month, in order to get a resolution, in order for the fighting to stop or to just cease once and for all, you are going to have to change your technique in terms of, fighting with this person. So this could basically mean, drawing boundaries, like drawing your line in the sand and saying, I'm done with this. I don't want to have multiple run-ins and argue over the same topics with you because you don't fight fair. You can do that. Or you can take a different approach, which is that we are going to have an agenda. When you need to discuss something, these are the confines of what we are able to discuss. These are hot topic buttons that we are not going to touch upon. So you have to have clear guidelines with this other person that you're dealing with on what it is that you will or will not discuss, will not bring up in like a discussion with another person, because they're hot button topics. So being a little bit more objective and a little more, I would say, like efficient with your time spent with this other person that you're not going to, that you haven't seen eye to eye with. I feel that's in order. Okay, and this is going to play out for a lot of you in a work environment. I'm feeling work environment and close interpersonal relationships. I do feel an element of, let's see here, so co-workers first of all, and then in your romantic sector, in your romantic relationships. A lot of you might be dealing with an air sign this week, or this month, excuse me. And I do feel the energy of this air sign is going to permeate throughout the month, because we have the King of Swords and the Page of Swords, which indicates as well that this is somebody that you've known for a long period of time, that you've seen, grow and progress over the years. So you do know one another pretty well, and you know how to push each other's buttons. And in general, water and air signs do not communicate in the same way. And if anything, this air sign is going to demand that you are a little bit more logical. I mean, it's a great energy, because I do feel they're both in the upright position, which indicates to me that they are going to be the catalyst to help you move forward with some venture in your life, or even to um, propel a relationship down a better path. Okay, so the only thing is the communication styles are not going to be jiving too well with one another. So as a result of it, there are going to be hurt feelings, and this card does indicate, words thrown about that can be hurtful, and you're kind of like there's someone is going to be moping over the way words are exchanged and the way that words are used to hurt. But in this situation, I do feel that like I mentioned, stealing up your communication style. This person is not going to communicate the same way that you do. You are very sympathetic, but this person is taking a more no nonsense approach, and they're very direct and confrontational even, but I don't feel they're being bullish about it, because that would be more of an energy of like a fire sign in the reverse position. This person is actually very systematic, and they're trying to get you to tell stories or to relay events in a more like rational and in a way that makes more sense, like chronologically makes more sense. Okay, so a little bit of systematic approach to your social interactions will be required of you for this month in order for you to get the things that you want out of other people, in order for you to move projects along, and in order for you to get to the heart of situations, why conflict happen in your life and how to better deal with them in the future. So at the end of it, I do sense that through your extensive contact or communication with this, potentially, this is also, the card of when I do like legal cases. This is also somebody like a prosecutor, a lawyer, a judge, and it's somebody who is trying to get at the truth. And you have a very strong, potent energy here. This is coming out as the King of Swords, which is somebody who doesn't really care about, I would say that their main concern is objectivity and truth. So they're not going to bend the truth in order to project themselves in a better light, nor will they, tarnish or even hide the truth to make you look bad. Okay, so this is not an ego type of game. This is more about adults uh, coming together to get at the truth. So it's a problem solving type of month, and the main dilemma is that both sides have to curb their communication styles in order to work together as a unit to arrive at the truth. So the element of truth is going to be very vital for you this week, for a lot of you. I do feel communication is going to be like a catalyst for changes through this month, and you must communicate in a way that is, concise, accurate, and coming from a place of, wanting to get at higher truths in life rather than trying to, I guess, enable other people or covering up for other people's shortcomings. Okay, so that is going to be required of you. I do feel in general that, you are very kind people. So these two cards can be a little bit problematic in that, so let me give you an example. So in a work environment, for example, someone is kind of like slacking off on the job, and they're clocking in when they actually didn't even show up to work that day, for example. And you're feeling like, you rationalize it, and you're just like, oh, they have two kids, and they were sick at home with one of their kids, and they're not bad people, and it's a big company. No one will notice that discrepancy in, that 1 hour or 1 day's salary. So I'm just going to turn a blind eye. So that's the attitude that you're taking. And then you get yourself in a situation where your supervisor calls you into the office, and they ask you like, did you see so and so come in on, such date? And you get yourself into a stuck dilemma. It's like an ethical dilemma on your end, which is, do I cover for him or her, or do I tell the truth? And you're making it into an ethical dilemma when it doesn't have to be. So for example, I'm sensing here that the other person didn't ask you to lie for them. Okay, and then on top of that, it's your personal like sense of moral integrity within yourself, to be honest. So don't make this into like self-martyr. I guess like that would be the strong message coming through, because more than anything, you want to be straightforward and honest, and especially if your supervisor is calling you in, then you want to just be honest and just say that, oh, I don't remember I saw that person there on that date, okay? And trust that the truth is enough, and you can absolve yourself of your responsibility in this situation. So don't play the martyr. Don't take it upon yourself to lie for this other person. First of all, they didn't ask you, and secondly, if the situation is between, that person and the supervisor, for example, it's best for you to stay out of it. Okay, so realizing, once again, this whole concept of boundaries, realizing where you end and the other person begins, and knowing that everyone is kind of responsible to take care of themselves, and they have to be smart about it if they want to, one up the supervisor. They really have to cover their own basis, and they have to be smart about it, okay? So that's one way in which this energy can play out. So you might be called upon to cover for somebody that you shouldn't have, that it's just outside of your jurisdiction. It's outside of your moral radius. So don't take it upon yourself to do that, okay? Another thing that is coming through, I do feel that in general on the financial front, um, a lot of you might be contemplating a trip as well with this Chariot card, and you might be like planning something right now. I don't feel it's going to happen for this month. I do feel like possibly further down the line, and this is seems to me like 5-7 days type of trip where it's a little bit further away. Um, it's going to be fine actually, and I do sense that a lot of you might be kind of tired with dealing with, you know, the minutia of the work situation. So you might just be wanting to get away, but financially things are not yet in order for you to just leave on this trip just yet. There's a little bit of a financial shortage coming through, and this is also residual energy. And I mentioned earlier, residual energy is going to come through via the very first card out. So a lot of you might be dealing with an earth sign as well. And if it's in a or excuse me, if it's in a work environment or in a romantic environment, this person might be contemplating or might be trying to contact you when you have already moved on. Okay, so they're kind of like he or she is kind of like here, and excuse me, an earth sign is a Virgo, a Taurus, or a Capricorn. So this is somebody that is kind of like coming in on the tail end of it, knocking at your door, and you've just moved on. So there's that energy here where you have basically sailed on physically, emotionally, mentally from this person from your past who might have caused a little bit of and cutting off that person from the past. So I do feel this energy here is just like, you know, this must end so that I can begin anew with somebody else in my life, okay? So it's a very, very good therapeutic type of energy, and it's healthy for you, you know, cut ties with the past, especially when the past has been troublesome in every way. And we know that when it comes to interpersonal relationships in general, um, we can't always say that, you know, one side is to blame. When you are involved with another person, things are not always going to go smoothly because we are independent, free thinking entities, and especially when communication styles are very different, it's hard for us to get along, okay? So the energy that is playing out here is, regardless of what happened, regardless of what transpired, this is somebody that can't be in your life for any reason. You know, it could be their doing or your doing. You just don't want this energy in your life anymore. So it's important to just disengage from the conflict and move forward, okay? I do feel multiple attempts here are going to be required of you. First of all, there's going to be communication, a little bit of a jarring communication coming through from somebody from the past, and then it kind of sucks you in. So just be very mindful of how you handle old energies and old people trying to provoke you and trying to suck you into a situation and preventing you from leaving, because obviously they know that you have tried to move on with your life, and you're trying to get to a better frame of mind in which you are focusing on more abundant things in your life, or even more things that are productive, and they're still kind of stuck and stagnant, and they don't really know where to turn. So they want to, you know, come in and re-engage with you in a verbal debate that leads nowhere, that is unproductive. It doesn't resolve anything, and it's something from your past that you've already moved on from. So you don't feel the need to get involved the second time around, okay? So multiple run-ins, I feel, is going to be coming through. You're going to be revisited by something from the past. And I do feel it might be related to finances. It might be like trying to get a salary negotiation in order, first of all, and not feeling as if you have the skills that are needed, okay? But I can assure you that when you put your mind to it, you have the power of manifestation, which means that you are capable above and beyond, you know, like You have the capabilities to do the work, so don't stress out over it. Just fight for whatever it is that you believe, and try to do it to the best of your abilities, because at the end of the day, I do feel that you are going to be able to not only earn whatever it is that you set out to do. There are good news coming through, but I do feel that it is going to break you out of your shell. It is going to break you out of your mental prison in which you feel like life is not giving you enough, and so you become complacent and you accept only the things that are like scraps and pieces from people. You're not going to put up with that anymore. You are going to stand up for yourself, and you are going to demand whatever it is that you deserve, because ultimately you know that you're worth more. Okay, so it is a really, really nice energy, and it's a little bit combative, but I don't feel that the two cards that indicate conflict. First of all, the beginning of conflict and also the end. Um, they're wands, so it's in a playful, lighthearted way. They're not swords, okay? The only people yielding the swords are in the upright position, so it indicates to me it's like a very strong executive position, or somebody with power of execution. So because of it, they're able to move a lot of things forward. So you don't have anything to worry about, because this ultimately does indicate the end of conflict, the end of a drawn out battle in which everyone has things to lose, and no one ends up winning here in this situation. So it's kind of like a conflict that leads nowhere, and you don't want to be embroiled in that. So just let it go. All right. I do feel for those of you who could potentially be dating like an earth sign, I do feel a little bit of a somber mood associated